Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft video. My name is JTech and today is going to be episode 1 of a new series where we're going to be teaching you how you can make your own Minecraft Java plugins. So we're on the Minecraft Java edition here, and for example, if I go ahead and join my iNetWatch project, what plugins basically are is you obviously have command blocks, right? So you can do amazing things with them, but plugins go a little bit further than that. For example, you have commands. So for example, we have a world edit, right? So you can do 2 slashes and then want. Get yourself, I wouldn't actually see this message in chat. And then you can select 2 parts and then set it to stone and undo it. And that's not obviously not possible, at least with the command parts. It might be possible with some fail and set block command, but there's a limit to what you can do with commands in vanilla survival. So that's why plugins exist. Now you can't use plugins on regular vanilla servers, so you need a plugin server. So go ahead and go to my web browser. So this is a good website to go to, serverjars.com. So over here, if you scroll down here and you go to servers, you can go to vanilla. You see the vanilla of Minecraft, the snapshots. You can see buckets, paper, spigots. So then you see purple and Unity. Now basically, you have the vanilla version of Minecraft. That's just normal Minecraft. Then you have bucket, which is one Minecraft, but it has added features, and you can actually create plugins and then put it on a bucket server in a plugins folder, and then that will work. But as you can see here, bucket is very old. It doesn't have, it has a lot of features, but not the features that you see in modern plugins today. Bucket is basically the base. The only thing that you really use bucket for is as like an API, so where you build on top of. So then we have spigot, which adds like twice as much on top of bucket. So you have bucket and then you have spigot, which includes all the features of bucket but has a lot more. And then you have paper, which adds a few more features than spigot does. So paper has buckets and spigots, but it also has a lot of bug fixes, a lot of exploits that they have patched, for example bedrock breaking, and they have a lot of performance upgrades. So today we're going to be making a paper plugin. It doesn't really matter, but I really don't recommend making a bucket plugin because, well, as I said, they're limited. There are way more features if you use paper or spigot. So normally I normally really do spigot, but I'm gonna do paper for today. So obviously plugins don't work on single player, so you need a server. So I'm gonna go ahead and download paper and 1.18.2. So I'm gonna go ahead and download that. See my downloads here, it's done. So we're gonna go to my folder. I have a directory prepared here. So in my games drive, we have the plugin coding, and then we have tutorials. It's empty at the moment, so we're gonna open my downloads here, and we're gonna go and copy the paper 1.18.2 jar, and then we're gonna go and paste it in here. Then we're gonna double click it, so we're gonna run it, and then it's, as you can see, it's gonna unzip all these files and folders. Now one important thing to say is that in order for this to work, you need to have Java installed. Now I'm not gonna go over how you install Java. Most modern devices have Java installed by default. But if you don't have it, then there are tons of tutorials online on how to install Java. I recommend you install Java 16, 17 or higher. Well, if they update in the future, then make sure to update as well, because some features are only available if you update to a newer version, even for plugin coding. So, as you can see, it stopped, and we don't really have anything. You'll expect more for a server folder, and that's right, because you need to accept the EULA. So I'm gonna type through in there, then Control S to save, and then we're gonna run it again, and it's gonna continue spatting out folders and files. And there we go, we have our world being generated, and there we go, now got this window open, we got a whole bunch of files. So this is our server console. As you can see, we can type broadcast hi. Well, we can just do say hi or something, and then it says hi in chat. So how do you connect to your server? So that's pretty simple. All you really have to do is go and, oh, by the way, if you get this error, that's totally fine. That's just because you're running it on your local computer. It may or may not return some errors because of like output ports and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that. It's totally fine. You don't have to worry about it. It's not gonna affect anything. So you want to go to your Minecraft, and you want to go to you want to create a server here, and you want to name it something, and then you want to put your server address. You want to put localhost, because you're hosting it on your local computer, so put localhost. Click done. You should have it here, and if you join it, we now see, did the gaming join the game? As we can see, we can't run commands, so if we go to our console here and do and up ourselves, and we do game modes creative. So now that we have our server set up, we can start setting up our API. So if we go back to our internet browser, we can close out of this website. We want to go to this link in the description. To this link, and I put it in the description down below. And it says download IntelliJ IDE. You can use Eclipse if you want to code plugins. You can use any IDE, but I really like IntelliJ. It just has a really clean GUI, and it's easy to understand all the controls. It has a very good tab auto completion. Yeah. So yeah, you can buy IntelliJ for Ultimate for web and enterprise developments, and then there's a free 30-day trial. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go to Community, which is the free version. It says for JVM, which stands for Java Virtual Machine, and Android development. It says free, built, and open source. So over here you can select your platform. So I am on Windows, but you can select Mac or Linux. And you can select a zip file or an exe. So I'm gonna click on download. It's gonna give us a little download here. I'm gonna wait for that to finish. Gonna just open my downloads folder again. So when that finishes, there you go. We're gonna go to our downloads folder again. I'm gonna double click this, and it should run. And You can click accept. If you get like a Windows thing about that, do you trust this program, then just click yes. So you're gonna click next. I'm just gonna click next because I already have it installed, so I'm not gonna click install on the final step. You can put in a destination, click next. You can create a desktop shortcut if you want to. Yeah. Click next. And then you can click install. So I'm not gonna do that because I already have it installed. But you can do that, and then after you can delete the exe file. Close out of that. Close out of that too. And then in your search bar here, we're gonna search for IntelliJ IDE Community Edition. Make sure you open that. Wait for that to load. Now it's probably gonna load one of my projects that I've worked on before, so don't get scared of that. If you just see a lot of code. Yeah, we're in one of my complex projects. Okay. Just gonna click cancel there. It's gonna go and bring us to the main menu screen of IntelliJ. There we go. So, this is what you should see when you first open IntelliJ. Well, you shouldn't see all these projects because they're all my projects that I've worked on. So, before we click create new project here, we want to go to plugins, and we want to search for Minecraft development. Now, this is a very useful package. You want to click install. So basically what it does is it automatically implements all the APIs. So the bukkit API, the spigot API, the paper API. If you're using a bungee cords network, it will import all that API stuff. It will automatically create a main class for you with 2 main events and some imports. It will create a pom.xml, which is basically for Maven, which is our the system that's actually going to compile our plugin into a jar file, which that file is for Maven to get its information on how to build your plugin. So the name of the plugin, the authors, the description, the file type, which you shouldn't change because Minecraft plugins only work if they're a jar file. The directory which it's gonna upload it to, and a bunch of settings like well, if you're using external APIs, then you have to make sure you declare that you used those APIs in your plugin. You have to declare that in the pom.xml, and your plugin.yml is also going to create that, which basically houses some information about all the commands that you registered, all the authors, the description, the name, the API version, all that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and click on new project. You're going to click Minecraft here. If you installed the plugin of Minecraft development, you should have that shown up here. Then for project SDK, this is just your Java version, so you can click this drop down menu here, and you can click add JDK, and then you want to navigate to the to the location where you have your Java version installed. Now I like to use the latest version that Minecraft uses, which is Java 17. That is the highest version that Minecraft currently uses. In the 1.18 update, it uses Java 17. So choose plugin or mod platform. If you're creating a mod, a Forge mod, you can click this. If you're creating a Fabric mod, you can create this. You can click that. But we're going to be creating a paper spigot bucket plugin. I'm going to choose paper here. You can click next. So the group ID is basically It's basically your package, your main package. Now you can see packages as just folders. Uh, they're pretty much like folders. So if you own a domain, so let's say I own Google, which I obviously don't, but it's just an example. Let's say I own Google. Then I would have to put com.google.tutorial. Oh, tutorial. Because com.google, I own that domain, and tutorial is the project. But I don't own Google, so we're gonna do me, which just represents that it's a private project from just a normal person, doesn't own a large company with a huge website or something. I'm just gonna do me.jtech.tutorial. And then for the artifact ID, this is um basically, well, actually we're just gonna do me.jtech and then we're gonna do tutorial here. And then for the version, this is basically when your plugin is being loaded in the console, it will display loading um, plugin tutorial version 1.0 snapshot, which is what we put here. So I'm just gonna do pre-release right there. So then for the compiler, I'm gonna do Maven. I don't really use Gradle unless it's like a Android application. I've never really used the Gradle for something else. So I'm gonna use Maven for this one. Click next. Then for the plugin name, we're just gonna do tutorial. For the Minecraft version, we have Minecraft 1.18.1. Minecraft 1.18.2 isn't added yet, but there's not really a difference. So yeah. For the description, you can just put anything really. It doesn't. You can leave it empty if you want to. I'm just gonna put this is an example plugin. Ooh. Um, for the authors, you put JTech. If you have multiple authors, you can put a comma and then a space, and then you can put like um something like that. Uh, and then once again, if you own a website, you can put it here. Not gonna worry about these three. Then depend and soft depend have to deal with APIs, which we're also not gonna worry about today. So click next. Then for the project name, this is just what's gonna be displayed at the top left of your screen when you open the project. So we're gonna do YT tutorial, which is also your project location, which you can change by clicking the three dots, but this is correct for me. Click finish, and that should load up your plugin. This could take a while depending on how many projects you created before and how big your project is. Right, there we go. So over here to the left, you can see our plugin directory here. This is basically Windows Explorer, but for this project only. So to the right, you can see the Maven screen, which we're just gonna scale down a little bit because you don't really need it. But in some cases you do, but for this basic stuff that we're gonna do today, you don't need it. So we're just gonna put it to the side a little bit. So this at the top is your project. Then the pom.xml looks like this. It's kind of confusing, but This is the file type, this is the version, this is the artifact ID, this is the group ID, this is your name, this is the description, this is the Java version. You don't really need to change anything here in particular, but I'm gonna put something really useful in here that you should do as well. I'm gonna put a link to where you can find this in the description, but I already have it here, so I'm gonna copy it over, and then I'm gonna just close this. So we're gonna go and scroll till we find dash plugins. So not plugin, but dash plugins. And then you're gonna go one row of code behind, and we're gonna go enter and then paste it in. So this basically overrides the directory where Maven's gonna build your path, where Maven's gonna like put your plugin jar file once it's done building. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our server here. We're gonna go to the plugins folder. We're gonna then click this and copy it, copy the path, then highlight this and paste it in, and that should work fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna save all, and then or Control S, and then click this little Maven reload button, and you can save again if you want. So we're gonna close out of that, and we're gonna go open source, which is just all your code, and we're gonna go to main. You don't have to worry about test. So resources is where your config file and your plugin.yml will be. If you're generating some other files, they will all be under resources. The resources folder is a little bit. You'll use the resource folder more when you get into mods. Then you'll use it when you are working on plugins. So in here, under the Java, you have me, JTech tutorial. So this is our main class here. So I'm gonna explain a few things about this. If you don't know anything about the Java programming language, I recommend you learn Java first before you get into plugin coding. But if you just want to follow along, recreate everything the same as I do, and then when this series is done, you can look back at what we made, and you can try making your own thing. That's totally fine. But yeah, for everything who wants to do that, I'm going to explain a few things throughout the episodes. So when I create a function, I write it first, and then afterwards I'm going to explain what some of the things do. So first of all, we have the package, which is basically the location where this class is located at, which is me, JTech tutorial, as you can see here. Then the imports are basically references to existing classes. So we have bukkit, plugin, Java plugin, because this is a Java plugin. So imports are basically references to existing classes so that you can use information out of those classes in your plugin here. So if I was to give a player an item, you'd have to create an item stack. So if we create item stack and we click enter here, you see it says import org bukkit inventory item stack, because item stack isn't just a Java feed, isn't just like something like integer or something that's in the default settings. It's something that you don't use, that you don't always use, so you have to import it. Right, so then over here we have our our first block of code, which is the public final class, which is the class we're in. Tutorial extends Java plugin. So extends Java plugin basically means that it's extending an existing class, which is Java plugin, which is a class of bucket. So it includes all the code. So basically, all the code in Java plugin, which is an existing class, is also in this class, but it's invisible. So it basically has all the code of Java plugin, but you can see it, but you can access the, well, all the functions inside of it, basically. So in Java plugin, there's a event called onEnable and onDisable, which we're using here. So with that out of the way, well, let's first look at the plugin YML, which is really simple. We just have some information here, and then if we want to create commands, we put that underneath here, but we'll talk about that in the next episode. So for our first plugin, let's do something really simple. So for the onEnable method, by the way, if you do / and you type something, IntelliJ is gonna ignore everything that's behind the slashes, so you can basically comment your code. So let's say that you want to do something like int age equals, I don't know, 5 and then for, well, not for, just if age, I'll just do something really simple so you can all understand. If age is not equal 8, and then age plus plus. So this is some really simple code. So what you can do is the code of the age system. So then you can just comment all your code. And if you want to, oh, oops. If you want to comment out and in like multiple rows, you can just come along and just do that. But that's kind of I don't know, doesn't really look too good. So what you can do is you can do a slash and then a star, and then at the end of what you want to comment out, you do a star and then another slash in the other in the same direction. And that's gonna comment out everything in between. So what we want to do, so let's just do something really simple to get started with our first plugin. So we want to do system.out.println, and we're gonna do this tutorial plugin has now been enabled. Woo! So system.out.println basically means that it's gonna send a message to the console, really simply. And if you want a shortcut to this, you can just type s out, and then type enter, and then you just get this. Now, what these little brackets right here do is they tell the system that this is a string and not a variable or something. And then this little colon at the end, that's just because every single line of code that's like not a start of a function needs one of these. Just print it in your head, it just needs it. Right, so now we're gonna do the same thing. This tutorial plugin has now been disabled, and then we're gonna do like that. That's pretty fitting, right? So in the problem.xml, we put another output directory where it has to output our file, our jar file. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna save all, or just Control S, and we're gonna go up here to this little play button, and as you can see, we now get a little console here, so we can see here has this little loading bar, and when it has a check mark, it says that it built success. If it has a red cross, there are some errors. If it's working on it, it has this loading bar. So process finished with exit code 0. This is really useful because if you get an error, you can what's displayed here isn't really clear what the error means. You can just copy the number here and then go to internet, just type it in, go to a website where someone else had the similar problem, and then you can just see what people responded to it, if the solutions that they have worked, and if it does, you can be happy too. So exit code 0 basically means that it has run everything without any errors, which is great. That's exactly what we want. So we can close. We can click the middle minus here. We don't need that console. So we're going to go back into Minecraft. It should, if we go to our plugin folder, there we go. We now see tutorial 1 pre-release.jar. So if we go to Minecraft and we type /reload, which is going to reload the server. You have to do this without confirm. It's going to reload the entire server, but we still stay in game. If you now type PL or plugins, PL is the shortcut, it says plugins 1 tutorial, which is our plugin. And if we go to the console, it says STD out. And then it says this tutorial plugin has now been enabled. Woo! So that's great. So, yeah. That's the really basic thing of setting up your IntelliJ and starting your first plugin. But I want to do something really simple, just to show you what you can really do with this. So, in the next episode, we're gonna do commands. We're gonna create a basic command. But in this video, I want to actually start on something similar that we're gonna make another video on in the future. But we're gonna just simply cover it today, just a little bit, which are events. So events get triggered when something happens in the game. So that can be anything, by walking, breaking a block, traveling through a portal, a day or night cycle, something growing, mob spawning, anything. Like, there are a lot of different events. So yeah, we're gonna just cover one, which is the chat event. Alright, so we're gonna create well, not a command, but just an event that listens to the chats. And if you type a specific command, if you type ! Discord in chat, then it will return the Discord invite link of my server. So we're gonna create a new package in our main package. I'm gonna call it handlers. And then we're gonna create a new class, and we're gonna call it chat handler. Go inside, and we're gonna go and create. I'm gonna go and implement listener, which means that the plugin knows that that this class has to listen to an event. So we're gonna go and do event handler, which just means that it has to listen for an event to happen. Public static void, and then we're gonna do on chat message, for example. We're gonna do player chat event for the event type, and we're gonna call it E. So the first thing we're gonna do is get a reference to our player. So we're gonna do player p equals e dot get player. So that basically means that the player, we create a variable called p of the type player, and we set it to be equal to the event, and then get the player who executed the event. So what we're gonna do is what we're gonna do is do we're gonna do if e dot get message equals ignore case, and we're gonna do these colons here, and then we're gonna do exclamation point Discord, and we're gonna open these brackets, and then we're gonna do p, so player, send a message to the player, send the Discord invite, and that should be everything. So we can go ahead and Control S to save, and then I was accidentally typing that, but what we need to do is we need to register the event. So get server, get plugin manager, get a register event, chat handler, and then to this new chat handler. There we go. So it registers the chat handler class to this plugin. And that is basically everything done. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go and save all, then run the plugin, and then we're gonna go into Minecraft, reload, confirm when it's done. There we go. So if we type like this in chat, or hello, I want to type in Discord, and even if we do like this, nothing happens. If we go to the console, no errors. That's great. Oops. Go into Minecraft, exclamation point Discord. Yes, there we go. So we typed exclamation point Discord, and we get this in chat. And if we press it, and we go to our browser, we get brought to our Discord. There we go. So yeah, that's basically 2 plugin tutorials in one, because I really only wanted to show the how you create a basic plugin, and I also included the basic event handler stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to see more, please let me know. If you have any suggestions, you can let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.